From humiliating entitled influencers to exposing some of the most disturbing behavior ever caught online, Tony has become the internet's unfiltered watchdog. He's the guy who says what everyone else is too afraid to, and he's done it in ways that leave audiences either cheering him on or clutching their pearls in shock. Today, we're breaking down the wildest moments when Tony completely destroyed influencers, from TikTok stars to disgraced YouTubers. And trust me, it only gets crazier the deeper we go. Let's start with one of the most controversial influencers in recent memory, Tino. Back in 2023, Tino went viral not for talent, creativity, or anything positive, but for her sense of entitlement. One of her earliest clips showed her berating restaurant staff simply for calling her sir. Most people would brush that off. Not Lily. She turned it into content, doubling down on the outrage like the world owed her something. But it didn't stop there. By 2025, Lily's reputation took an even darker turn when accusations surfaced that she had been secretly recording unsuspecting women and even underage girls in Disney World bathrooms. This wasn't just cringe anymore, it was something much more serious. And of course, Tony was not going to let this slide. He swooped in with one of his most iconic roasts, mocking Lily's obsession with pronouns by bluntly shutting her down.
Friends, today we're talking about something super cool called pronouns.
Not interested, sir. Anyways, here's how to tell if your sign is cheap.
Not interested, sir. Anyways, here's how to tell if your sign is cheap. That one line became legendary, with the internet flooding his comments. Not all heroes wear capes. Protect this man at all costs. The backlash against Lily grew unbearable, and by August 2025, she announced she was stepping away from social media altogether. Just like that, one of the internet's loudest attention seekers went silent, and Tony's roasting was a huge part of why. But Lily wasn't the only one who faced Tony's wrath. If you were online in mid-2023, you probably remember the name Kevin Leonardo. He built his following by posting educational tutorials, except these weren't your average how-to videos. One in particular crossed the line when Kevin uploaded a full visual demonstration of body hair removal that left viewers horrified. The clip racked up over 25 million views in just 2 weeks, but the response wasn't admiration. People were disgusted. One viewer admitted, "My biggest mistake was watching that. My eyes have been burning for hours." And of course, Tony jumped in. He turned Kevin's over-the-top tutorial into free promo material, sarcastically showing off his own hair removal cream and bluntly transitioning back to his LED sign business. Fans couldn't stop laughing, praising Tony for turning one of the most disturbing viral moments into comedy gold. Eventually, YouTube removed Kevin's infamous video, but the damage was already done. His reputation was stained, his content was mocked endlessly, and Tony had made sure everyone knew just how ridiculous he really was. But if you thought watching Kevin's videos was uncomfortable, wait until you see the boy band that Tony absolutely obliterated. In 2022, a now-defunct boy band called No Lonely Hearts tried to force themselves into TikTok stardom. Their videos weren't fun or creative. They were painfully cringy. The group would overact in front of the camera, shouting introductions like, "What's up, California?" before launching into awkward singing and dancing. Enter Tony. He stitched one of their clips and delivered the kind of roast only he could pull off.
What's up, California? My name is Alex.
What's up, Maiden?
I'm Oliver.
I'm Brian.
I'm Dylan.
And together we are
Gay as fuck. You guys are gay as fuck.
Mocking their group introduction with a deadpan, "You guys are gay as..." The roast went insanely viral, with fans calling it Tony's greatest burn yet. The internet loved it so much that many people said if ads were edited like Tony's roasts, they'd actually sit through them instead of skipping. That's how effective his humor was. But while No Lonely Hearts were clowned for cringe, Tony's next target was someone facing much darker allegations. Few influencers have experienced a downfall as dramatic as James Charles. At one point, he was the face of YouTube beauty content. But in 2021, his entire empire started crumbling when underage fans accused him of inappropriate conversations. Screenshots, testimonies, and even James's own words seemed to back it all up. In fact, just a month before the scandal broke, James admitted on camera that he wasn't attracted to older guys, which only fueled the fire. Suddenly, the internet's golden boy had become one of its most hated creators. Naturally, Tony couldn't resist. He roasted James in his usual blunt style, tossing in his LED sign promotions like a dagger in the middle of chaos. Even James's own fans began piling on, mocking his attempts to downplay the accusations. It was one of those moments where Tony wasn't just making jokes, he was reflecting the disgust most people were already feeling. But while James's scandal made him an easy target, another influencer tried to flip the script by going after Tony himself. That didn't end well. Rashad Bowen, better known as IRAR, was a reaction YouTuber who clearly took inspiration from Tony's style. At first, he stayed in his own lane, but when Tony had a viral meetup with Speed, IRAR saw an opportunity to gain clout by mocking him. He called Tony out, questioned his influence, and even asked, "Who even is Tony?" Big mistake. Tony fired back with one of the coldest
Who the f is Tony?
Who's Tony? I don't know either. Anyways, how to know if your sign company is trustworthy?
responses, casually clowning IRAR while plugging his signs. The internet sided with Tony instantly, dragging IRAR for trying to pick a fight with someone way out of his league. One comment summed it up perfectly. So tragic there are people walking around not knowing who Tony is. Instead of taking Tony down, IRAR only embarrassed himself, proving that coming for Tony is basically career suicide. But Tony doesn't just roast clout chasers. He also humbles viral disasters like Al Wezi, also known as Gorlock the Destroyer. Rating herself, she confidently declared she was a fat 10. The internet erupted, and not in a supportive way. People joked about her chair's durability and called her delusional. But Tony took things even further. After Al revealed her type in men, 6 foot, money, Mexican, well-mannered, Tony hit her with his signature sarcastic transition back into his sign promotions.
Mexican, well-mannered.
Anyways, here's how to tell if your sign is cheap.
15, he went way too far, crossing into territory nobody wanted to see. Tony's reaction said it all. He didn't need to scream, rant, or dramatize. A simple, horrified roast was enough to make the internet side with him instantly. Comedian Dealey wasn't spared either after pulling a similar stunt with his own dog. Tony called both of them out, once again proving he's the internet's filter for what's acceptable and what's flat-out disturbing.
Anyways, an ultra thing connect live.
Fans praised him as a beacon of light for refusing to normalize that kind of content. And while those moments were unsettling, Tony never holds back against influencers who are simply unbearable for another reason: cringe. At the end of the day, Tony's roasts aren't just about making fun of influencers. They serve as a mirror to internet culture, calling out entitlement, cringe, and flat-out disturbing behavior. Some say he's too harsh. Others call him a hero. But one thing is undeniable. Tony represents the voice of the audience, saying exactly what most people are already thinking, but are too afraid to say out loud. And as long as influencers keep pushing boundaries, you can bet Tony will be right there, roasting them into oblivion.